That he was able to hold her up like that. Wow. All right, let's bring in Matt Johnson, who is not with us here in studio today. Instead, he is at the University of Utah.
All right, Matt, we know a pretty historic day up there. What's going on?
Very big historic day. In fact, 11 years ago, I embarked on a journey to become a meteorologist, a weatherman, a student of the sky. It all happened here. And as I look out over downtown, I realized a lot has changed right here up at the U. In fact, I'm standing on top of one of the brand new buildings that contributes to atmospheric sciences moving into the future for future generations of weathermen to come. We're going to talk more about that in just a few minutes. But first, let me get you the forecast. We're talking about a little bit of smoke out here. I can see it. I'm looking over the valley. It's summer in Utah. We can't avoid it. But we look to places like the U to understand more about PM 2.5. Let me show you a live look from the top of Ensign Peak. You can see visibility down a little bit, air quality into the moderate. You got Cache Valley, Weber, Davis, Salt Lake, it doesn't matter. Everybody is under this smoke. In fact, it gets a little bit thicker as you get into central and southern Utah. A look at satellite and radar. Really, the only thing popping up right now is just south of Utah County. In fact, I can see some of the tops of those thunderheads as we speak. Current temperature in Salt Lake, can confirm, toasty, 90 degrees. 86 in Ogden. Logan's got 81. All across the state, folks, looking at a hot one, but not as hot as yesterday. You'll see the hourly forecast here calling for temperatures in the 90s. In fact, today's high will be down a solid 5 degrees from yesterday. So we like to see that in the middle of July. Now, coming up in just a few minutes, folks, we're going to be talking to some very important people about the new improvements to the University of Utah, and specifically Atmospheric Sciences Department and Physics. We're talking to the Dean. We're also talking to the President of the University of Utah. That is just ahead. You want to stick around. Just turn your shoulders this way, just slightly.
Well, today the University of Utah is unveiling their $97 million applied science project, completing their Crocker Science Complex on campus. This thing is amazing.
Absolutely. Very historic here. We've got weather and science specialist Matt Johnson out there right now on campus taking a look at the new hub for scientific research. Kind of back to your roots, Matt.
Yeah, I am back to my roots, and I am standing here with the Dean of the college, Peter Troppa, and we've been reminiscing a little bit about the U and my time here. It was 2014 to 2018, and man, it's wild to be back because there's been so many changes. In fact, you guys have quite a bit set up here on this brand new building. I believe it's called the Skaggs Applied Science Building. Can you talk to us a little bit about what we're seeing here, what this instrumentation is?
Well, first of all, it's great to have you back, Matt. Always one of our most distinguished alums. Great to have you here.
Oh, well, I'm honored.
Yes, we're on the rooftop of the new LS Skaggs Applied Science Building, and what you can see around me is some instrumentation which is measuring air quality data, everything from particulates to aerosols, emissions that you might see coming out of tailpipes, the kinds of things that we think about keeping ourselves healthy in our community. You also probably see these stanchions here. This building, in addition to hosting the Department of Atmospheric Science, is also the future home of Department of Physics and Astronomy. So these are actually telescope stands. A lot of our folks in our community come out for our weekly star parties, and they'll be able to look up into the heavens from state-of-the-art telescopes on these stands. Really excited about what this new building brings to both the community and our students and our researchers.
Yeah, and I was going to say a lot has changed. You know, I was at the William Browning building where they have Mines of Earth, College of Earth and Mine Sciences, College of Atmospheric Sciences, and this brand new building is amazing. I mean, he talked a little bit about the little telescopes. Oh, and also there's going to be star parties, I guess, that we're going to be having up here. Yeah. Can you speak a little bit to that? I guess they're starting in September.
Yeah, so this is a regular feature that the astronomers at the U put on. They engage the community on a weekly basis, but also around interesting celestial events. So if there's an eclipse or a particular retrograde motion of a planet that's rare, bring members of the community out. And in our old observatory, we really limited by some space constraints and facility constraints. And actually, this building was designed with outreach in mind to engage the community, whether it's through star parties or learning about this instrumentation and what it means for our air quality research in the valley here. And so if that's something that's of interest to you or your family, you should come on out to one of our star parties.
Most definitely. I think we have the most outdoorsy state in the nation, and a lot of folks think about these things. I wish we could talk more about how decorated this man is in the academics department, but we've got to get to weather, and we've got some cool graphics to show you folks. Sweet photo of a rainbow out in Centerville. Now, to get a rainbow, you definitely have to have at least some kind of water in the atmosphere. We had some raindrops, but not a lot hit the ground. 24-hour wind gusts going for 66 in Fillmore, Grace, Idaho 61. You get the picture. Yesterday's forecast definitely verified. We saw those wind gusts out and about. I got a low pressure system to the north that's actually swinging a little cool front through the state. You may notice it today, you may not, because the temperature change, we're talking about 6 to 7 degrees. Now, less warm weather forecast for today, we'll call it, with a chance for storms mainly Utah County south. Now, looking into tomorrow, we get another round of storms that'll pop up across central and southern Utah. But again, can't rule out northern Utah on the Wasatch Front simply because when you get that monsoon moisture in here, all you need is a little push from the sun that heats the earth. It'll make that sky rise and you get these storms. So central, southern, eastern Utah, you're under the gun for a couple of isolated to scattered storms. Temperatures are going to be toasty in the mid-80s, triple digits for St. George, though that 101 is actually down from yesterday's 108. 96 in Spanish Fort, you have a slight chance, but then it cuts off. You look further north, I'm talking dry skies and unfortunately dealing with a little bit of smoke. St. George, you've got 101 to 98, 20% chance tomorrow, but with an extra pulse of that monsoon moisture seeping in from Arizona, you might just tag a storm on your Friday. We'll keep an eye on it. Wasatch Front, I've got 94 to 98. Friday and Saturday, there's a 20% chance that we see a little pop-up storm, but all in all, folks, the forecasting only gets better from here, right? We've got more research happening here up at the U than any other school in the state as far as atmospheric sciences, physics. This is the spot. We're going to be talking more about it with the president of the U. No typo. That's coming up.
It's so fun to see Matt Johnson back up there knowing this is your roots.
Spot. You look right at home, Matt.
Look how
look at you. So proud.
So proud where you came from.
Good job.
We're so proud of him. All right, Matt Johnson, thank you very much.
Well, healthcare costs seem to be getting... Our very own Matt Johnson is up on the U of U campus this afternoon, checking out their brand new science complex. He will be speaking to the University of Utah president coming up next.
Well, I could try to give us some sort of weather forecast. Well, welcome back. Today, the University of Utah is unveiling their new Crocker Science Complex. This is so cool, and it is going to be a hub for science research and education at the U.
Well, joining us now up on Utah campus is weather and science specialist, our very own Matt Johnson. Matt.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, we hear you.
Okay.
We hear you.
I know we're having
Can you hear us? That's the question, because we know this place is really cool, and you're going to get into all the details for us. Are you there, Matt?
Yes, I was just talking with the president of the University of Utah, Taylor Randall, 17th president of the university here, and we were talking a little bit. Well, actually, we should tell them what happened. He came in and gave me this T-shirt.
We always love you grads.
Yeah, the proper attire for the alum to visit. You know, this has been a massive investment, not only for students in the University of Utah, but can you speak to us a little bit about what this means for the state of Utah?
You know, the state of Utah has been ranked #1 for innovation capacity, and this is ground zero for training that innovation capacity. This will allow us to nearly double the number of STEM students that currently are educated within the state.
That is so awesome, and you know, I've been walking around the building a little bit and noticing the amount of energy. Was it 97 million just to get this building erected, folks? And it's 3 buildings total to complete this Crocker Science Complex. Now, we talked about a little bit about what this means for the state, but I hear this could even have regional impacts.
You know, it's pretty remarkable when you start thinking about the number of people and the people that have actually graduated from this College of Science, even in applied areas. So you have the founder of Adobe that came here. You have the founder of WordPerfect that came here. So when you talk about regional impact, it's really the entrepreneurial spirit that gets trained first in basic sciences and then expands and makes inventions that affect all of us throughout the world.
I mean, that is just amazing. And I think it says something to this College of Science, right? That it can train the mind, even if this isn't your final resting point in the College of Sciences, but that you might land, you might be a CEO somewhere else. You might even be the president of the University of Utah.
Yeah, you know, a lot of prior presidents have had scientific backgrounds. In fact, they are the ones that often make these massive investments in these type of applied science buildings.
So cool. Now, for all those applied science or aspiring meteorologists, scientists, physicists out there that might be watching right now, what would you say are your words to them with this brand new massive investment?
You know, one way to think about this is a place where scientific dreams will come true. And in fact, we educate over 700 freshmen every year in these labs, and this increases our capacity to do that by 56%. We try to give them real-world problems immediately so they can see how their science can affect communities.
I love it. And the more we talk about it, the more I realize how big this is going to be and how much entrepreneurship is going to happen within the science department. I think we might need to give them a little something here. I think we need to represent.
Go Utes.
Flash in the U. Go Utes. All right, we're going to talk a little bit of weather right now. We'll talk to him here in just a second to say goodbye, because President, I want you to stay back to the studio for me when we come back. But you'll notice here, Jason Robinson, a photo from Utah Lake. Love to see that electricity in the sky. Yes, thunderstorms popped up yesterday. Not everybody saw them, but you know what? They were fun if you did. Hansel Valley, 61-mile-an-hour gusts. If you don't know where it's at, it's just off I-84 on your way to Burley. I got Tooele at 50-mile-an-hour gusts. So you can see these storms yesterday produced a little bit of rain, but a bunch of huff and puff. That will be the deal again today. I got a high pressure system towards the four corners and a low pressure system up top. What you learn in atmospheric sciences is that the difference between them is where the action is, and you'll see the action pops up central and eastern Utah. Weather 101, you need energy to produce anything from the sky, and we have it south of Utah County today. Now you look at Thursday, I do have a couple of pop-up storms down in the south. That's where most of the action will be as that front continues to slide south. So your official forecast for Nephi, 93 degrees cooler than yesterday. Pop-up storm is possible. Down in the south, I would avoid the slot canyons, especially if you see some storms in the area. Please be careful. Temperatures down as well today by about 6 to 7 degrees across the Wasatch Front and northern Utah. But folks, Wasatch Front, I would argue to say 94 is less warm than 99, but I would not try to convince you that it is cool. I got St. George at 101 today, 98 tomorrow with a slight chance for a pop-up. You get into Friday, a more significant push for the monsoon moisture. I've given it a 30 to 40% chance. And the 7-day really looks dry. But, you know, I think it's only proper that we have the president of the U give you the back to studio toss.
Look, you're going to love this new science center that we have here. Right behind us is an observatory. We're going to have a ton of star parties here. That's parties for the stars and to look at the stars. See you soon.
We love that.
Take
We
care,
love
President
that.
Randall.
Hey, well, you know what? Now you can't see us, but we're doing the interlocking
The
U.
double logo
We
now.
want you to tell President Randall we've got it locked in right here in studio for him.
Representing.
They have the U locked in at the studio.
We good?
Too. We're pushing a minute of holding it. We can put it down.
You're so great. You're
Thanks,
so
guys.
great. Thanks, you guys. What an investment here.
This building represents Utah's bold investment in the future.
The University of Utah unveiling an exciting new addition to its campus today. The Crocker Science Complex is now open, kicking off a new chapter of scientific research and education at the U.
University holding a special ribbon cutting for the $97 million project today. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson giving us a closer look at the facility and what it means for the state.
Well, folks, today was a groundbreaking day for the state of Utah. Up at the University of Utah, folks, the Crocker Science Complex. We just cut the ribbon on it, folks. We're talking about state-of-the-art investments, state-of-the-art science facilities. I've got a brand new telescope, 14-inch, mini telescopes that are going to be set up all along this rooftop for public star parties to come up starting in September. And yes, my field over here, we have the meteorology department, atmospheric sciences, measuring air quality, measuring the wind, and figuring out this climate here in the state of Utah and the region. I was talking to the president of the university today, Taylor Randall, and he was explaining how this is going to impact the local economy. Not only that, but the regional economy. 275,000 square feet of science complexes and buildings ready, and just, I mean, it's hard to put into words. This is going to be monumental and turning a new leaf for the state of Utah in the science department.
All right, Matt Johnson, he's the one who will be so excited about that.
He loves science.
We will all benefit. Yes, thank you, Matt. Well, coming up, a post-accident. The University of Utah today unveiling an exciting new addition to its campus. The Crocker Science Complex is now open for research and exploration.
This building represents Utah's bold investment in the future, a future driven by research, technology, and the next generation of thinkers and doers.
The $97 million building will serve all STEM students with research in climate, astronomy, physics, air quality, and more. The 275,000 square foot complex boasts lab space on the campus by 56%, and it boosts lab space rather, and it supports 37 different degree programs.
Weber State professors working on a